This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com. Today we're talking about diffusing, shaping, and breaking up light. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes the mystery out of the effects and techniques that goes up your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and we've covered cinematography ideas on the show a few times, but I realized that we haven't really taken a look at diffusion or the breaking up of light. Both of these things are pretty massive for the filmmaker toolbox, so today we are going to do exactly that. Now we read. Hey Ryan. Now it would be rational to assume that this question submitter intended to say hey, but missed that H key, or maybe their H key is broken, you never know. However, once I saw A, my brain immediately read the rest of the email in a way that was appropriate to its introduction. Hey Ryan, I was hoping that you would go into cinematography a little bit more. I know that you had episodes before, but I'd love to see some more. Thanks. Bada bing, bam. I added the bada bing and also bam, but you get the point. I think my Italian grandfather will be proud. First thing that we're gonna do is look at direct light versus diffuse light versus diffused as a motherfucker light, since everything that you do to the way that your light hits the subject will give it totally different character. So for instance, here's a shot with direct light on Josh, no diffusion. We have a very moody shot, lots of contrast with an extreme line going down his face. Then we switch to the same shot with diffuse light. Here we still have a nice amount of contrast since there is no fill, but now we have the light wrapping around his face more, giving us more detail and feathering that harsh line. Each look is great and can be used to great effect. It's just a matter of knowing what each can do for your shot and what emotion it brings. Then you can make the choice intelligently. But again, here we have direct light, very harsh, strong on the right side of his face, getting just the eye on the left side, and you can see that it is very unflattering, bringing out all the imperfections and highlighting if the subject has any sweat or oil on their face. Then, to the soft, which the background here is a bit lighter since I upped the exposure to keep the level of the face consistent between the two shots. But here you see again that the light is wrapping more around his face, more detail on the left side there, and you have a lot softer and more flattering quality of light. But again, you might not want that. You may want a very harsh feel. So it's all about the story and what look is going to best service that story. But how do you get that beautifully diffused light? Well, you can either bounce your light off of a bounce board or put diffusion between your light and your actor like this sheet, which is a really cheap way to get it done. And that will get you this look here. Not as soft as the first one I showed you right here. Close, but you can see that in this one, the skin is a lot softer, and in this one here, it's a bit more harsh on the skin. I'm getting this extra soft look by using a technique that I learned from Shane Hurlbut called the book light. Shane actually goes in depth on his blog right here. You should definitely check that out, and if you're not subscribed to Shane's blog, do that now. He is a wellspring of amazing info and inspiration. But I am getting this look here by bouncing my 1K off this white bounce, then diffusing that light further by hanging a white sheet in front of the bounce. So instead of diffusing direct light, I'm diffusing bounce light, which is already soft. The result is a really pleasing and beautiful light, and to my eye, helps the DSLR get a much more filmic quality than it has with that direct diffused. So again, a book light is just bouncing your light off of a surface at an angle, then diffusing that light again before it hits your actor. And I really love the look. But again, go here to learn that technique even more in depth. But now I'm looking at this and it seems that the shadow on the side of his face is being filled a bit, even though I have no bounce or light over there. Well, that is because of the wall here. You always have to keep in mind when you are lighting that you are not just controlling the light to the actor, but also what the room is doing. So this light here is traveling to the wall and then back to my actor's face, and maybe I don't want that spill happening, so I will add what is called negative fill. And I will do this super cheap by bringing in a dark blanket right to the side of his face. And now you see here that the extra light is cut off, and we are getting that little bit of extra contrast that I wanted. And again, let's look at it without the negative fill, and then with. It makes a really big difference. But now, we're gonna take a break and then do some light shaping. pirate in another life.
No.
Sailing the seven seas looking for booty. And I went to a cave and I found a treasure. You know what that treasure was?
What was that treasure, Ryan?
Domain.com. Because I, as a pirate, needed a website to sell my booty on. And that meant I needed a hosting plan and I needed a domain name. Hosting plan had to be solid, had to be affordable, had to be reliable, and I needed a domain. I wanted piratebooty.com. It was taken. They have the domain discovery service to help me pick a name similar that will work for me. So I got my Pirate Booty website. I got a solid hosting plan. And you know what else I did?
I think that means
because I'm a pirate. I'm trying to make money. I used a coupon code FilmRiot at checkout to save me 15% of my gold and booty. So, as a pirate sailing the seven seas looking for booty, you should be thinking domain.com. What up?
I think that website means something different than what you think.
Treasure.
No.
Logo. So now we are going to look at how to break up light for interesting results and more interesting character of light. Something like this, which we're going to get that effect by making what's called a cookie.
Oh, I love
no,
cookies.
It's not. I knew this was gonna. It's not what you think. A cookie is something that has patterns cut out in it that you place in front of your light.
That's less delicious.
Yes, it is. There are two main types: hard cookies and soft.
Soft cookies are my favorite.
Okay, you be quiet now. Hard would be something like a board where the light is blocked except for those holes that are cut out. A soft cookie would be something like plastic where the light would be diffused around those cut out patterns. And there are all kinds that you can buy, but they're super easy to make, so there's no real reason to spend money on them. Here, I'm just going to take a piece of cardboard and cut several slits in it, one on top of the other, until I have this. Now, I'll prop it up on a C-stand, mic stand, or whatever you have lying around, really, and place it in front of the light. Then, flick the light on, and you have what looks like a character sitting in front of a window, which of course is not the case. You could also move your light up or down to make the pattern move. Doing it here, it has the effect of a car maybe arriving out front, or you could use it for something like an 80s music video. Because I did that a lot. It was like a style in the 80s, the thing that happened.
You're old.
Okay. You can also place the board at an angle to get something unique. Here's with and without the cookie. There's so many different things that you could do with positioning or moving the cookie around as well. You could even grab a small branch from outside, add it to the mix to further sell the idea that the character's in front of a window. Here we have it super dramatic and stylized like a noir film, which I could just slap some black and white onto, add music and a voiceover, and you have yourself some old school noir.
Yeah, I should be thinking about the case, but all I can think about is that cookie. That chocolate chip cookie.
Or you can get rid of the cookie and just use the branch to break up the light and give interest to your light. Right here we have Josh in front of a plain, boring wall, but if we add the branch in, it gives it some character, and to me makes it feel a bit more serious and menacing, even with Josh bouncing like he's listening to his favorite Shakira song. Finally, you can separate your talent from that light and use it on the background only. This is great for interviews, especially before and after. Of course, it doesn't have to be as pronounced. You could do something a lot more subtle, have subtle patterns to break up the light and add in a bit of design to your background. Whatever you do, just keep these techniques in mind as they go a long way to add interest and realism to your shot. And go crazy. Make a ton of different cookies. Try breaking up the light in as many ways as you can think up. You never know when you're gonna stumble onto something epic. Logo. But that is it for today. If you have any questions or just want to say what up, you can follow me on Twitter right here. Or if you'd rather, you could do the Facebook thing right here. I love staying in touch with you guys. But I'll see you next week when I keep calling people Baby Bird with a terrible accent. Poor John Voight.